Hey there.
Good morning. It's time for me to go. I've got all my things packed and by the front door. It's only about 7:45, so we will have to leave
Shortly.
yeah, before too long, but I'm excited. It's kind of sad, but I'm excited.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be good.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, I feel like a Disney princess. You know how all those Disney princesses get ready to go on their big, glorious, wonderful, scary, terrifying adventures. I feel like it is a little bit like a Disney princess.
Okay.
It is very late for me. I think it's after 2 in the morning, Florida time. I'm really tired, but I'm unpacked and I'm in Adam and Sherri's house. We had dinner. Missy's over there. But I wanted to say hello. Today is still Sunday, technically. It's Mother's Day, so I wanted to send a happy Mother's Day to my mom because she's so special to me. And I love her so much, and I left her today, and I do miss her, but this is gonna be good. It's gonna be a great summer. So anyway, I'll check in again tomorrow when I'm not quite so dead tired. Good morning. It's actually almost afternoon. I slept until 10 o'clock this morning. I was so tired, but I've been up for almost 2 hours and I've finished unpacking and I feel completely rejuvenated this morning. I'm so happy. I'm glad to be here, and I think I'm just gonna try to read some today. So we'll see what today turns into. But hello, I'm in Alaska. I'm so happy to be here. I swear I comb my hair, it just doesn't look like it. It is Wednesday. No, it's not. It's Tuesday. It's almost 2 o'clock. I spent most of today outside in the yard. In the backyard. I've been doing some weed pulling and it's going to turn into a landscaping job. It's really exciting. I love it. The weather here is so nice and the sun felt so good this morning, and Missy came outside with me for a while. I wanted to talk a little bit about my travel experience because we all know that traveling right now is not, you know, normal circumstances. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience. If you've traveled through the Orlando airport, you've probably been there with like 10 million other people, and it was totally empty. When I walked up to have my boarding pass and my ID checked, there was nobody in line in front of me. The line for security was moving slow just because it was kind of plugged up with a person who was having some difficulties. But other than that, security wasn't too bad. They were only running one people mover train to go out to the gates. I was surprised that nobody took any temperatures anywhere. I thought, before I even go inside, I thought somebody was going to take my temperature, and that didn't happen. There were no temperature checks anywhere. A lot of the places in the Orlando airport are closed. The Starbucks were open. The flight there, I flew Alaska at this time, Alaskan Airlines, and there were most of the seats in the middle, most of the middle seats were not occupied, but the aisle and the window seats were, and they did not alternate rows. So the plane was still pretty full, except for some of the middle seats. Families could sit together. So if you have, you know, a party of 3 or 4, you could still put 3 of your family in the same row. was really interesting because you know how when you're on a plane and the plane pulls up to the gate and then everybody unbuckles and stands up at the end, I thought that this would be different, and I was wrong because we've social distanced the whole flight, and then at the very end of the flight everybody stands up and they're all crowding into the aisle. And I thought it was so weird because people are behaving the exact same way that they usually do. So you kind of defeated the entire purpose. I flew in on Sunday, May 10th. And on May 11th, Alaska Airlines started requiring passengers to wear face coverings. So passengers were not required to wear like face masks on Sunday, but they were starting Monday. My flight to Anchorage had a layover in Seattle. And the Seattle airport, I flew through the Seattle airport in February. And it was not much different in February than it was this weekend. It seemed to be about the same. Yes, there were some places closed, but the number of people in the airport seemed to be about the same. The flight from Seattle to Anchorage seemed to be really full. I don't think there were any empty rows. In Seattle, they were boarding flights from the back to the front. So they would take, I think they started with rows 30 and up, and then they boarded rows 20 and up, and then they called rows 10 and up, and then, you know, they boarded the whole plane. So they kind of tried to board the back of the plane first, which I feel like they should do anyway, because if you put the people in the back of the plane on first, then it should be a faster boarding process. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Just kind of wanted to hop on here and tell everybody about my experience. When I flew into Anchorage, when I landed and I got off the plane, they had these little signs up. When you fly into Alaska, you must quarantine for 2 weeks, either in a hotel or a home, but somewhere you must stay put for 14 days. And you also have to sign this form basically informing the state where you're staying for your 2-week quarantine. So I found the link and I tried to do it on my laptop, but it didn't work. So the form that I had to fill out must be done on the phone. It's a PDF, but you cannot actually fill it out and submit it on the computer. And I have no idea if they're gonna check in on me while I'm here. I honestly have no idea what to expect. So I'll keep you updated if any of that happens. But anyway, I'm here. The sun is shining. I woke up happy today. I've pulled a bunch of weeds. Missy went outside and had an adventure. I have no idea what's gonna happen the rest of the day though. So probably won't check in again until tomorrow, but today is Tuesday. So we've got the rest of the week. Good morning, friends. Today is Wednesday. And last night, Adam and I were up late talking about Disney and all kinds of things. And then tragedy happened and oh my goodness. He spilled paint on the floor. He made a very blue spot on the carpet. So I'm in their studio, but that's where the paint is on the floor. The biggest spot, but there's a lot of paint on the floor. Anyway, it looks like they're having a yard sale out here. I'm gonna move everything out of the room because they're gonna have a carpet cleaner come. So I'm gonna go outside while that's happening because I've still gotta pull a bunch of weeds because we're gonna do some yard work. I'm going to disappear outside for a while. Missy. But today's finally Wednesday. I'm wearing my K-State sweatshirt. I told you guys I live in sweatshirts. I know you guys are really excited to see like Alaskan adventures. But the truth is we can't do anything for 2 weeks because I have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff here around the house, you know, so hence the yard work project gets me outside. Okay, I just wanted to say that it's 10:13 on Wednesday night, and this is how bright it is outside. I've never experienced anything like this before, so part of the summer in Alaska experience. Hello strangers, it's me again, and I did comb my hair, I promise. These just like to stand out, and I'm not sure why. It is Thursday afternoon, evening, it's 5:30, and I have vlogged nothing today because I have done nothing today. The jet lag, I think, has finally caught up to me. I got a phone call from my dentist in Florida this morning at 5:15 Alaska time. I think I'm gonna try to make Adam and Sherri dinner tonight. So we've all started the keto diet together. I've been doing it for a while, but they started it with me when I got here. And so tonight we're gonna have, it's like ketogenic carbonara. So it's made with zucchini noodles and there's bacon in it and it's really good, but I'm gonna try to make them dinner tonight. So this is the recipe I'm going to be making. It's called Induction Carbonara. And induction is just a phase of the keto diet. It's when you start the keto diet and you're kind of still having those cravings for carb-loaded foods like pasta. So we're going to get started on this recipe. We need the yolks of 4 eggs, and I put them in here to keep them from rolling off the counter. We need a cup of cream, and then these zucchinis are going to be spiralized and turned into zoodles. And we're also going to need some parmesan cheese and some bacon. This is going to become our sauce. If you're worried about your egg yolks not actually cooking, don't worry, because it's going to be warm enough that their eggs are actually going to cook. So don't be grossed out, just mix it up. It's all going to be fine. So this is the bacon we're going to use for this recipe, and we really only need about 8 slices. We're going to cut this up into smaller pieces, and then we're going to cook it in a skillet first before we cook anything else. Alright, so we kind of want this in a medium dice. We don't want the chunks to be too small because then we can't find them. Too big and they won't mix into the noodles.
Making this induction carbonara. Not only is she making dinner, she is also vlogging dinner.
Hello!
What do you need?
Alright, figure out how to turn on your oven, stove, whatever. So, does it go this way?
Yep, and so now I normally just like turn until I feel like it's like a good noodle length, and then I'll just like pull it out, which kind of cuts it off, and then stick it back in and start again. Yep. And then...
That's so cool!
I know, and then it actually is going to catch all the little like nubs down in this other thing, so you'll empty that other side out.
This is genius. So I've got the bacon working over here. And what we're waiting for is for it to become crispy. And you really don't want to leave your bacon soggy, because if you leave it too soggy now, it will just get more soggy later. So you want it to be crispy, really crispy, before we do anything else. Over here we've got our zoodles, and they're ready. They won't go in until the very last minute. And then our cheese over here, and this goes in with the zoodles. The sauce is going to be the next thing that we add to the bacon, but we'll have to turn the heat off so that we don't curdle the eggs. Alright, so the bacon is crispy now, and I've got it on low heat, and now we're getting ready to add the sauce. Just like that. So we'll cook this for just a minute or two, and then we'll add our zoodles. So just stir, 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 and try to scrape all those yummy bacon bits off of the bottom of the pan, because you want that in here. Now we're going to add our zoodles. Alright. Time for cheese. I'm going to add in about half, mix it in, stir, 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 and then I'll add the second half. Now for the other half of the cheese. We need pepper and we need basil now. All right, you could cut your basil, you could put it in whole, or you could tear it, because that's what I'm gonna do, because it's easier and I'm lazy. If you want to make it pretty, you could chiffonade it. I don't want to today. So we're just tearing, shredding, and topping. And this is if you like basil. If you don't like basil, don't do it. If you like a lot of basil, add more basil. And stir again. Alright, since Sherri doesn't like a lot of black pepper, we're just going to do a little bit, but I think it needs some. Alright, we're done. And now dinner is ready. Whoops! I just finished recording a video for Monday, and it's all about the main dining restaurants and rotational dining. It can be really complicated. I wanted to talk to you guys about this book. This is The Princess Bride, and this is like the 30th anniversary edition. I think that's what this is. But I just finished this book yesterday, and if you haven't read this book, I want you to read it because it's such a good book. If you've watched the movie, I think you're gonna love the book. The movie was so good. Like, this is the first time I've read this book, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect it to be so much like the movie. It is so much like the movie. The movie was done so well. And the guy who wrote this book, William Goldman, wrote the screenplay for Absolute Power, which is another extremely cool movie that's nothing like The Princess Bride. Anyway, this book. Okay. I'm not sure how to explain this other than like an actor breaking the third wall and addressing you. So it's like the author, this guy will be telling the story, and then he cuts in and says, hey, it's me again, and this is like where, you know, I cut this out or something. But because he wrote this book pretending like he is editing a classic fairy tale written by some Morgenstern guy who doesn't exist. So you almost can't believe anything that he says because a lot of it is just made up. But it just kind of leads you to believe that this was a classic fairy tale written by S. Morgenstern years and years and years ago. And Florin is a real place, but it isn't. It's so spectacular, it's great. And I loved it so much more than I expected. This version is actually illustrated, and if I can find this on Amazon, I will link it down below. Speaking of Amazon links, in my last vlog I talked about the airplane pockets, and a lot of you guys were like, oh, I love that, that's really cool, and I didn't link it for you. I went back and I linked the airplane pockets for you. I also went back and I linked my tripod that I use because Adam saw it yesterday, and I've been here since Sunday, and yesterday was the first time he saw my tripod, and he was like, that's really cool. And it is really cool. So I linked my tripod for you guys. I also linked my packing cubes. And then when I showed you guys my shoes, I didn't tell you about this, but I use these things called hickies. And it's not what you think. It's like a rubber band shoelace. So I don't have to tie my shoes anymore. Hold on, let me go get my shoes. Okay, I'm back. So this is my shoe, and these are my hickies. And they're so cool because it basically turns your sneaker that you usually have to tie into a slide-on shoe. I don't have to tie my shoes anymore. And these are great for going to the parks. Like, I can't tell you how annoyed I get when I go to the parks and I have to stop everything and like kneel down in a crowd of people and tie my shoes. I don't know why it aggravates me so much, but it does. So these are a lifesaver. You can buy them on Amazon, and I went back and I linked them in that video in my last vlog. I will link them again in this vlog, but I showed them and I didn't talk about them. So I wanted to talk about them, and I showed them up close today. I think I'm gonna close out the vlog. I'm sorry it was so boring because, okay, the thing is, you guys know I'm here in Alaska. I'm staying with Adam and Sherri Leg. If you don't watch their videos, I will link their channel down below. But I've been here since Sunday, and the thing about traveling right now is I have to quarantine for 2 weeks in their home. So today's Friday, so I've still got another week at least of quarantining in their home. So we can't do any exciting Alaska things. I've been doing yard work. It's gonna start getting exciting next week when we start putting things in the ground. But I know you guys are excited to see Alaska things. So am I, but nothing can happen right now. So I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be at least a week before we start doing fun activities. Now, I'm not saying we can't have fun here, but I'm not gonna be going whale watching or walking on glaciers. Nothing really exciting is gonna be happening for at least a week. So we're trying to follow the rules. There's a $25,000 fine if I leave, so I'm trying to be good. I did have to fill out a form online, and I think I talked about that earlier. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys that I'm here and nothing exciting has happened this week. And I did make keto carbonara last night, and it was so good. Like, we literally cleaned out the pan. I'll insert a picture now of what it looks like. Well, what it looked like before I started eating it, but it was so good. It's so easy to make. So easy. I will actually try to put the recipe in the description box if I can. Yeah, I think that's it. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Sunday evening, after this video goes live, Sunday, there will be a YouTube live on the LeggLife channel, and it's gonna be Adam and Sherri Leg and Justin and Lacey Zachman, and I'm really excited for this live stream. I think it's gonna be great. They're gonna talk about like Disney things and all the things they've got in common. They've all been to Hawaii. They all like coffee. I'm just so excited to watch this live stream, so I wanted to share that here with you guys. But I will link all these things down below, and I will see you guys again some other time. I'm probably going to start vlogging again tomorrow, but this vlog was going to end today, and I will see you guys real soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching me in my quarantine.